Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you guys my Metaphys Yugioh deck profile for December 2017. Been wanting to build this deck for you guys for quite a while now. It's an interesting deck with a very unique playstyle which focuses on getting off effects when these monsters are banished. I was missing a couple cards for completing the deck. Finally got around to getting the majority of the deck done, just missing a couple cards, but I'll go ahead and explain which ones I would replace for the ones I don't have yet when we get through them in the deck profile. So let's go ahead and get started. To begin, for the Metaphys monsters, I run 3 Metaphys Tyrant Dragon. All Metaphys monsters are basically have effects when they're banished, depending on the type of Metaphys monster. If this card was special summoned by the effect of a Metaphys monster, it is unaffected by trap effects. Also, its attack monster, it can make a second attack in a row. And if this card is banished during the standby phase of the next turn, you can shuffle this banished card into the deck to special summon one Metaphys monster from your hand, but banish it during the end phase of the next turn. So basically you rely on the Metaphys banish effects to get out your other Metaphys monsters and also make use of unique effects, like I said already, for each one. And their stats are pretty high as well, so you have some pretty big powerhouses coming in with these cards. Also, 3 Metaphys Ragnarok. All the Metaphys are pretty high level, except for Ragnarok, and he has a basic effect of when it's normal or special summon, you can banish the top 3 cards of your deck, and if you do, this card gains 300 attack for each Metaphys banished by this effect. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can special summon one level 5 or higher Metaphys monster from your deck, but banish it during the end phase of the next turn. You can only use each effect of Ragnarok once per turn, but a normal summon monster with some pretty big power hit if you get lucky with his banish effect. He's a go-to for a lot of your card effects, so make use of him while you can for that damage effect and for the fact that you could just solely normal summon him to get off your banish effects off of him as well for 3 easy banishes. Also, 3 Metaphys Nepthys with this card. If it's special summoned by the effect of a Metaphys monster, you can banish all set, spell, and trap cards on the field. If this card is banished during the standby phase of the next turn, you can shuffle this banished card into the deck to add 1 Metaphys card from your deck to your hand, except for Metaphys. So search power, grab Ragnarok if need with this card. He really helps just set up and search for something more proper that you need for your effects. And also a good special summon off of a monster with their own Metaphys effect. And 3 Metaphys Daedalus finishes off the Metaphys monsters. If this card's special summoned by the effect of a Metaphys monster, you can banish all other face-up special summon monsters in the field. If this card is banished during the standby phase of the next turn, you can shuffle this banished card into the deck to banish 1 Metaphys card from your deck, except for Daedalus. So again, extra additional banish search effect off, depending on which one you grab. Helping to clear the board of a lot of special summon monsters makes this one probably one of the second best, or not the best, of the best, basically, jumbled that up, for the cards, since you can get rid of a lot of pesky cards your opponent controls as well. That's it for the Metaphys engine. Pretty standard, but you get through it pretty fast when you're basically going through the deck. And all the Metaphys monsters are light, so I am running Honest as well. I have 3 in the deck at the moment. Probably going to take 1 out, which we'll get to what I would take it out for in a bit when we get to the spell cards. But like I said, the damage help with this card way too good, so definitely got to run him. I also run 2 Necroface with this card. When it's normal summon, shuffle all banished cards into the deck. This card gains 1 heart attack for each card shuffled into the deck by this effect. And if this card is banished, each player banishes 5 cards from the top of their deck for the entire deck, even if less than 5. So take advantage of that banish effect, since you'll get your effects off for the Metaphys cards, if basically banished from that way. To make use of for the targets of your other Metaphys monsters. I know they have to be banished by a Metaphys monster effect, but you can basically grab some of the banished ones off your other Metaphys effects, because that setup is very important, and you want to have it as fast as you can, which that banished 5 comes in handy a lot. But the put back effect is one of the more important plays, since you can then reuse your monster effects. And 1 Fairy Tale Snow, once again, banish setup, plus the use of another monster on the field, and this with Ragnarok just really helps out for some Exceed plays if need be later on into the game. And that's it for the monsters. We will move on to spells. I want to run 3 Ask the Metaphys, but I only have 2. This card is very cheap, but I can only ever find 2, sadly, at locals. So I am looking for a 3rd one. Would take out the 3rd Honest for a 3rd one of these if I had them, just because I like 2 Honest better in the deck. It's a continuous spell card. Once per turn, you can banish 1 Metaphys card from your hand, and if you do, draw 1 card. Once per turn, if your Metaphys card in its owner's possession is banished, apply this effect depending on whose turn it is. During your turn, all monsters on the field gain 500 attack and defense, except for Metaphys monsters. And the other effect is opponent's turn, change the battle position of all monsters on the field except for Metaphys monsters. So really screw up with your opponent's plays basically with this card. And on your turn, that plus effect comes in handy as well. And the draw power, losing out on a Metaphys, doesn't really affect you either because you'll get your effects off as well. And 3 field spell of Metaphys Factor. This card, each turn, 1 level 5 or higher Metaphys monster you normal summon can be summoned without tributing, but banish it during the end phase of the next turn. Your opponent cannot activate card effects or negate your Metaphys monster effects when they're activated. So very good, great to have on the field. It protects your Metaphys monsters, like I said, so make use of that. And the without tribute effect goes great because, like I said, you only have Ragnarok. The other ones are all very, very high level. So make use of that as best as you can. Plus the 1 terraforming, just to search out. You don't really need more than 1 terraforming since it's not that kind of card that gives you search. So having multiple in your hand would benefit you. You just want to grab the 1 as fast as you can. Plus 3 gold sarcophagus. Once again, this is just to go full power with the banish effect, so you got to run this at max 3. 1 defisher for, like I said, the additional banishing. Go as big as you can with the banish in this deck. 2 trade-ins. For your level 8 monsters, you have basically your Metaphys and your Tyrant Dragon, so plenty of draw power search off of this as well. And starting to try basic staple Cosmic Cyclone in the deck. I've been testing it out at locals and it's been going very well, so happy with the results from this card being main decked. And moving on to traps, I run 2 Metaphys Dimension. This has been going back and forth between 2 and 3 for me. Have it at 2 for now. We'll see how it goes. If your opponent special summons a monster except during the damage step, you can target one of your banished Metaphys monsters, special summon it, but banish it during the end phase of the next turn. If your other Metaphys card in its owner's possession is banished while this card is already face up on your spell and trap card zone, you can target 1 card your opponent controls, banish it. You can only use each effect of Dimension once per turn. I love this card, plays so well on your opponent's turn, so making use of a lot of cards and screwing over their effects by banishing their cards, way too good to not run in the deck is what I mean. And the card I was going back and forth with is Waterfall of the Dragon Soul, running 3 of this card. It's a trap card with the search effect, which is great just to set and sometimes bait out your opponent as well. Add 1 worm-type monster from your deck to your hand. You activate one of these effects. You can either add the worm-type monster from your deck to your hand, or send any number of worm-type monsters from your hand and or face up from your field to the graveyard to draw cards equal to the number of monsters sent to the graveyard. I think does it say +1, there we go. So it makes up for the Water of the Dragon plus all. I usually only use it for the search effect, but having that benefit effect if you don't have one to add and you prefer just to send a draw because you know you're going to lose out on your monsters is all the better combo to go to. Mixing back and forth between Metaphys Dimension and this card is my main key debate, depending on what I want to do. +1 Macros Cosmos. It messes up with your opponent's pendulum cards or even some of their graveyard plays and benefits you, so great card overall. And for the generics, 1 Solemn Strike and 1 Solemn Warning to finish up the main deck. And then moving on to the extra deck, I run 1 Heliopolis, Overlord of the Heliopolis, Heretic Sun. I just said Heliopolis twice. I apologize, it is late and I am pretty tired, but Heretic Sun Dragon, Overlord of Heliopolis, not Heliopolis of Heliopolis. But anyway, rank 8s to go for that, number 23, number 38, and number 84 Pain Gainer are your main rank 8s that you will go into with the deck, since that is the majority of your Metaphys monsters and probably the easiest ones you can go into, and all your basic staple ones that you can make, since each one has different plays that you can make use of. And also, for the rank 7s, I have one number 11 Big Eye, and I'm proxying the Gaia Thunder Dragon. Would run Draco Sack instead, just don't have one at the moment. Definitely need to pick one up again. And also one number 77 for the overlay power that this card possesses as well. It's way too good. And then for the rank 4s, since you can run them with Ragnarok and your Snow and Necroface, one Castel, one number 41 Baguska, one Tornado Dragon, one number 101 Silent Anarch, one Abyss Dweller, and one Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon. And then for the link plays, one Decode Talker and one Gaia Saber. This is to stop Baguska plays your opponent. Just having linked monsters helps because, oops, didn't mean to throw the Gaia Saber. Basically, it stops you from being shut out from Baguska just by having the option to swing over, because it's pretty easy for you to get monsters out on the field for this deck, but you need those options to stop those kind of plays that your opponent might deploy. But yeah, that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Once again, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And until next time, Kira Twig out.